Okay. Guten Tag. Guten Nacht. Anyways, I wanted to start evening one. It's a little late, but I thought it'd be fun to share more of a insight. And like I said, let's try to connect. This stuff is to connect, right? The reason I got this out is because I have the porch light on. We're not going to get the mystical ambiance of the Sonoran evening in spring. I wanted to talk a little more about mindfulness and dealing with, you know, utilizing affirmations with, if you have some emotional moments in life, which we all do, which I'm experiencing some right now. And I'll share a little bit. So bear with my um, amateur video taking, but this is raw. I think that's always good. It's always good to feel as if you can really understand that I understand. So, the power of the divine, I can convey this message in a good, with intentions for the highest good, and not get too off path. But I wanted to talk about affirmations, and I believe we're in the waxing gibbous moon. I think that's just after new moon, I think it is. And it's a time of intention for positive change, for new change. But you could take a negative and turn it into a positive. And I wanted to share that with you. And let's do a breathing, right? Do respirations like I do in the meridians, but we should do it all the time. So let's do one more. Remember, it's good physically and energetically. All the angels, all the archangels, you possibly know more than I do about them. I know some of them. I know the names, the fairies, the apostles, your ancestors, totem spirits, Buddha. Ancestors could be family, right? But are they truly just family, or are they the spirit circle, the people that you originate from in heaven or whatever plane it is? Hold it. Feel the moment. Just feel it. Be in the now. Like the Eastern medicines teach. You have that calm. You just feel that calm. This is good for me because I'm dealing with change right now. I had that awakening and mixed with slight depression, relieving, shedding, discarding, becoming more aware with things that do not serve us. Now I'm going to keep speaking, but I'm going to turn the light down and let you see my fire pan I have going. It's late. I think it's approximately 10 p.m. But I felt I needed to do this. This is therapeutic for me as well. So like I said, I'm just going to put them on there and record and allow people to listen to these. They might be in the same moment. And whether they pick up and people enjoy them. I looked up at 420 on the recording. I don't do that. I like the smell of it, but I try to keep my natural wits about me and evolve organically and slowly. So anyways, this is my path of being a shaman, a healer, and an evangelistic type of all origins and cultures. And hopefully this resides with some of you guys. Anyways, I want to represent all the aspects of religions and half-truths and full truths and all the epiphanies and anecdotal experiences out there, because really, how else more raw can you get? Okay, here we go. I'm going to turn this down and flip the camera to the little fire I have going. I had to keep it down because this is fire wood I chopped from some of the trees I have in the yard, and it's a mix of acacia, what they call a Broughton willow, which is truly an acacia. I wish it was true acacia or willow, because I could make a tincture with salicylin, which is a component of salicylic acid, which is an aspirin. I could have made an awesome tincture for my line of tinctures and elixirs I want to make. I make them at home here, but I would love to share them. Be a lifelong goal to do that, to feel like I'm helping people. And what better way to wake up to making orders and sending them off and creating more jars of elixirs, putting your energy and love into it. Know you're helping people. That's a life right there, and it's for the highest good. And you could live through this system that they call life, and the financial system. Very inorganic. Anyways, that's why I have health issues, because of this system. Okay, I'm going to put down my shoulders hurting trying to hold this artificial light up. All right, let's change the light. And we'll put it to a low. And I'm going to flip it to the fire. Okay, I have a pad down here. I'm going to read on notes I had taken. And I should put the camera down on something, which I think I'm going to do. And then I'm going to speak. Maybe I can't. Okay. I'll sit here and we'll do this. And there goes my dog. Okay, I'm glad the light isn't affecting you guys too much. So, I had recently, I'm going to share a little myself here. I had recently tried to rekindle a person that I found very important, which she's very into the healing modalities and very connected with spirit. And we all have past that we deal with. Unfortunately, I can't say I'm not at fault here, because that would be ridiculous. I really did try to make something work. And I started off writing these affirmations and thinking, you know what, there's other people out there doing this, feeling the same thing. And why not try to connect with some people out there and share a little bit of myself and create some infectionism for people to want to feel the same and reach out. So we are in the waxing moon phase, and I think it's near the quarter, so they say that's the best time to do it, after the quarter. So I wish I would have done it last night, because I had a better fire. And this is an elemental experience out here with the cool air and fire. So we got air and fire and earth, right? There is actually water, because you got to have moisture in the environment. So we got the four elementals. And then I think in Chinese medicine there's metal, which is winter, but we're not in winter. So the four elements are, give me 1 second. Excuse me, folks. My dog decided to start barking at everything. Okay, so I wanted to just throw some affirmations I created. Some are some ideas out there because they just sound better, but you put your own spin on them and apply them to your life. But there's some that are generally can be utilized universally, because we all can benefit from a positive thought and communication to the divine in the ether, in the environment that we normally can't see, that we do impose change on ourselves for the good or bad by our wording, what we say. And it's being conscientious of that. Come here. Come here, please. Jack, come here. Sorry, guys. Come here. I wish you guys could feel the environment here. It's a beautiful night. It's probably 60s, high 60s out here with the flame. One thing about this wood, sumac, and it's a little smoky and it's dense, so it's hard to get lit. But once it gets lit, it's kind of like oak. Anyways, you can see that's a nice little low flame that's illuminating. Have nice embers. Feels good out here. Even though I'm feeling a little bit down, which you can't tell. Possibly you can. But it's a learning experience as a positive experience, that it's something that I realized sometimes two people want to make it work, or friends, or coworkers. And like I said, mindfulness, right? So I'm going to start with a couple like this. Here we go. And apply this to the things and put intent to it, what you want, whether it's your health to change, right? Your more health, a family member who might be in the hospital or going through some treatment, or there's an emotional stressor that's happening. And you can embody it in there of affirming these things, right? You invoke them. And this is what I would say. This is what I do. And I have a bunch of them on paper. I realize I got to burn tonight. I got to release them and turn them, transmute them into energy that I can cast off and allow heaven, the ether, source, universe, whatever you want to call it, to transmute it and relieve it of you. You have to relieve it of you one way or another. You can say it, writing it's even more, and saying it 3 or 4 times and releasing it. It's what the fire element's good for. It's the phoenix, right? It represents the phoenix. You are reviving a positive out of a negative, a transition. Here we go. I am welcoming new opportunities to enter my life and have trust that these will allow me to grow and evolve into positive possibilities. I am confident these steps will bring Jack. These steps will bring me positive new goals that I finished. I accept, here's another one that I did this one. This one was for me. Because we all make minute mistakes that can drastically affect somebody. So I'm just putting in little explanations of things why I put these together for growth, right? And accept changes, right? When a relationship ends or friendship ends or a job ends and it's not a perfect scenario, meaning it affects you or someone else, you know, the leaving point or the receiving point, any of those, you know, somebody's being affected. I accept the pain I feel as a learning experience that will lead me to new growth and understanding what I truly need and that what serves me best. I'll say it again. I accept the pain I feel as a learning experience that will lead me to new growth and understanding what I truly need and what serves me best. So, you could say these 3 times. I'm just going to try to read a couple of them here because this way you get insight. I might even read some off the internet if I can change camera mode. But let's go on to another one. I'm going to burn these afterward too. So let me go to another one here. I hope you all are enjoying that. Listen. You hear the popping, and you hear my dog back there. I apologize. Jack, come here. Come here, buddy. Okay, what else do we got here? And like I said, setting intentions, right? Positive and negative. Words are like curses and spells. I think these movies with incantations and, you know, they want to call them hexes, curses, spells. They all have a paradox. And it's just like when they say you get punished, right? You can get a paradox on it, especially if you're negative, right? So you want to try to be positive as much as possible. And if you think you're too masculine for this stuff, well then that's your mindset. That's what you should follow. You know, if you feel these aren't feminine enough, well then I say pursue what can be more feminine feeling for you. I know I don't have the most feminine voice, but I'm pretty balanced with the the energies. And a lot of men won't talk about it, but there's a lot of people out there that are comfortable with admitting that they're balanced. I think I'm close to balanced. I still deal with some things. I still get a little angry and loud, but I always try to reset and consider who I'm talking to or thinking about. Okay, here's another one. They might not sound perfect, but here we go. I am in alignment to fulfill my purpose and to have a feeling of significance in what I do. I am in alignment to fulfill my purpose and to have a feeling of significance in what I do. Feeling significant in yourself is very important. You're not the center of the world, but if you don't feel important enough in your life, then you're not significant. It's going to be easy for someone to say to you, you're not worthy, right? You're not this, you're not that. And some people will laugh at affirmations when you say, I'm worthy of loving myself, right? That's a good one. Just saying it. I'm worthy of loving myself and receiving love from others. When you don't, we all have those moments of when we break up or we have an argument or we're having a hard time at work and thinking we got to stay at that job for the next 50 years because of the system, and you get caught in thinking you're stuck there in a limitation. You get the mindset of scarcity. Then guess what happens? That's what's going to perpetuate. So knowing your value, but also knowing what somebody else's value is, and if they're having a hard time, that's the discernment point, right? Do you want to help them? Yeah. Do you want to hurt yourself in helping them? No. Are you enabling them? Possibly. There's so many ways to look at survivability in an environment of emotional, you know, connection, you know, interpersonal relationships, right? There's a approach determines response, and each personality, relationship attachment. There's a lot of things there, so it's not just cut and dry with one thing. We've all went round and round with a partner, a marriage, a dating situation, a friendship, and it's not easy. So sometimes we got to look outside and ask other people. I always ask, like my older sister. I have a couple friends and a buddy's mother and his friend, and I reflect with them because sometimes you get confused. So aside from affirmations and creating a better version of yourself and relinquishing negative traits, right? That could be self-serving, but could be detrimental. You want to do it in no harm to others, right? So when you do one like, let's see if I can read this one. I scribbled it. I feel loved while being single or in a relationship, and have an alignment with the divine. I am content being by myself. I feel loved while being being single and in a relationship, and have an alignment with the divine. I am content being by myself. I am worthy of love. I am worthy of loving myself and from others. I am worthy of love, loving myself and from others. You don't have to say mine, but if you want to follow along and say these, do it. It's great. Like, I feel better doing this, right? Like I said, I recently made some choices with something, and your history should be history, right? But there was an unacceptance. And when emotions run high, people don't want to listen. And they discard your true intent of effort for it to be the better for both of you. And so, as I speak this with you people here, people who want to listen, I was, in a sense, there was a discarding happening because the person was emotional and angry. And I didn't give respect to this person. It was a transition of trying to know this person. And she was supportive in certain aspects of what I just went through with this dark night of the soul, depression, relinquishing of the construct and of an identity that doesn't serve us, right? We are not what our jobs are. And you should follow the purpose that beacons in you inside. You feel it. You can feel that idea, like a childlike inner child. Your inner child comes out and you get excited. There's an interest in that job, or there's an idea for a business, or a different title position at the job. But search yourself. Look back when you were a kid and what inspired you to write, to paint, spiritual events. Art is spiritual, right? It's really freedom. But so is building a car. It's an expression. It's not just tattoos on your body. When you plant plants or you even organize your furniture, you are expressing your spirit. Feng shui isn't just the energy going through, it's how you put it in your house. And sometimes you might not put it in the best places because it creates stagnicity. But, I'm rambling on here because I am sharing. And these few ones I did is because I want to identify with myself that it was for the best intention, right? And everything I tried to do, right? Sometimes you're just in survival mode and you need to take a job for a short while. You don't feel good about telling that to an employer, right? Is that a lie? You could say it is. You want to be as honest as possible, but in the grand scheme of things, a big corporation can always hire someone new. If it's a matter of your mental health and physical health and your domestic health, then by all means, you have to make things happen, right? We all have to look in the position of the other person. We got to consider that. If you have to protect yourself, that's another. But self-preservation. But you try to follow a moral code and respect each other because ultimately you're going to have to answer for it. Okay, let's try another. I allow myself to accept that of my choices that failed in life to be learning experiences and will be my wisdom from those moments on, or this moment on. I accept that perfection is just an idea. I allow myself to accept that of my choices that failed in life to be learning experiences and will be my wisdom from this moment on. I accept that perfection is just an idea. Here's another one. I give love to others that I may have impacted in my choices that meant no harm. I allow myself to be free of shame, guilt, fear, anxiety. I allow myself to be free of shame, guilt, fear, and anxiety. I added in this one, at the end of it was, I gave love to others. I give love to others that I may have impacted in my choices that meant no harm, but to keep harmony. Right? I thought that was good. Because sometimes you have what they call the little white lies. And I'll be honest, that's what happened to me. I thought it's not a big deal. It's from the past. But sometimes not being honest because some people are sensitive and you think, oh, they're going to have more problem, and you try to protect them. Well, when people already have traumas from their past and you enter that phenomenon with already experiences, I guess what happens, it just amplifies it. So, against my better judgment, I've tried several times to have something with this person. And I love the person still to this day. But, you know, it's what you got to accept sometimes. You you have to take it as a learning experience, and then remember who you were before this person or the last person before that, and remember you have an essence and you can fulfill that with other events in life, right? You can't base yourself on the person you were with, even if you love them and miss them. You got to use that as energy and an impetus to move on. Here we go. But like I said, I want to give her respect because she had gave me some support in my endeavors of relinquishing trauma from family and old relationships, and unfortunately there's things there that I couldn't provide no matter how good I was. I could say that it was both of us. Like I said, being mindful still sometimes isn't enough. Other people have their own traumas to overcome. And were we both ready for the relationship? No. I think if intent is there, both of you should look at it as that's good enough, but sometimes people, their outlook isn't, it's not good enough. They find reasons because they're fearful. I would say that maybe that's what was happening because, like I said, my choices were not of clarity, telling someone, well, that's in the past. What does it matter? And the other person is so inclined to find the information and make it an issue. But what can you do, right? I gave a statement of, let's just move on. It doesn't matter. It was before you. But sometimes it does matter to people. If they're not willing to move past that, then what do? You have to accept it and surrender. So let's do another one. How about this? Another affirmation. I declare and decree that I am open to new possibilities and to opportunities that will create positivity in my life, and to have trust and faith that these new opportunities are going to succeed my goals. I am open to new opportunities and possibilities that will enrich my life. Yes, I added to it, that will enrich my life to help me succeed in my goals. I am grateful. And like I said, I know my videos are long, but I just flow. I try to flow. And I hope the viewers enjoy these. As I said, I wanted to share some of these and can have a nice ambiance of a fire in the evening. So, as my other videos, I hope this can help people look at another way to overcome things and maybe become more, balanced. Peace and balance. Like I say, it's not a joke to me. It's a real way of life, and I still struggle with things, but I learned to overcome them with following some of the early teachings and become more stoic and able to share this. Before there was times I couldn't. And like I said, last week when I went through that, or 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, I think it was 2 weeks ago, I went through a release. And I'm sure there'll be more because I still feel it. I'm still reeling from it. Okay, folks, I'm going to flip back now for a second. It's me again, Jorn, Nordic, Jerry, Etheric, 323, which is my birth date. I'm an Aries. I'm fiery. I got to remember that and not get, you know, is that better? Oh, is that lighting better for my features? Get the surround lighting for, you know. Anyways, I'll snap back now to the fire. But thank you all for listening, and hopefully you made it through the whole video. So, as I said, peace and balance, and you all have a good night. Thank you for accompanying me on this affirmation night and intent and awareness. Guten Tag.